What's up, guys? Anybody out there yet? I'll wait on some of you guys, see if you guys come on in. Hope you guys are doing good out there. I'm going to try to pull up the chat here in just a second, guys. Give me a minute. Hopefully you guys can all hear me good. I'm trying to get this thing going. I think I finally got it. At least I got the video up. We'll check the audio here in just a second. Hope everybody's doing great. Having a good weekend so far. We will find out here in a minute. What I do there. Let's do this. Yep. Get off of that. Oh, goodness. Well, guys, I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Like I said, guys, give me a second here, guys. I know it's kind of, yeah, there you guys are. All right. Hold on just a second. I'm going to try to pull you guys up in a different window here real quick. That way I can show you what I need to show you. Can everybody hear me? I guess I should ask that first. Good, good. Is it too loud to what? I mean, is everything all right there? Again, guys, it's the first time I'm doing this, so. Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, guys, well, I'm glad you guys are here. We will, we're going to talk about a few things. I'll probably try to keep this one kind of short because it. Whoa. Y'all hearing Marfugal there, aren't you?
Email alerts, which very soon we're going to have articles from several
Yeah. Anyway, that was my other feed. Just took off on me there. Most of you guys probably know who Marfugal is, right? I would imagine. Most people who listen to me probably are going down the same genre there with Adam and his channel. I've been watching Adam since before. Oh my gosh, I think when I first started watching him, it was probably, let's see here, probably 200-300 subs, maybe, if he was lucky. You know, so we kind of both come up a little bit in the YouTube world here a little together. You know, he does, you know, very, very similar stuff to like what, you know, if I see somebody that is, that I think, you know, deserves to have some recognition or whatever, I always, 100% of the time will shout them out. Because I think it just takes a lot of work to do this kind of stuff, guys. It really does. Let me get back over there for a minute. Give me a second here. I probably should have waited here another minute. I'm trying to give a little bit of extra time to let people get in here because it most certainly is early in the morning. So if anybody's getting up or if they're getting ready to go to bed, don't feel like you guys have to stick around. And again, guys, I'll try to keep to the subject this time. And we'll talk back and forth there a little bit too, if you guys got any questions and stuff. But with that being said, you know, there's just a lot of stuff going on, guys. I'm seeing a lot of crazy stuff happening too. You know, even within our own community, it's just it's a little frustrating sometimes. I guess that would be the best way to say that. You know, not that I'm upset or anything, because I'm not. You know, I guess where my upset comes from, my I don't even know how to say this, because I'm really not upset. I was angry for a few days, guys. Believe it or not, that's probably the biggest reason I didn't make a video in the past 4 or 5 times, because there was this stuff I was seeing, and I told everybody from day one, I'm not going to drop channel names on my channel. I just won't do it. I don't think it's very, it comes out very angry, especially if you get me to that point. You guys have probably never even heard me get like that, because I choose not to do that. But I will defend, number one, my friends. I will defend my subscribers. And when I got subscribers emailing me in fear, I'm going to address it. Because I care about that. And I try to put my information out the best that I can. As far as with no fear. This is a hard subject to tackle and try to keep the fear away. And I really hope everybody kind of understands that and sees it. Because, let's just face it, what we talk about here is, big stuff as far as what could happen, what possibly could be happening, all those kinds of things. But we have to understand that we can't control any of it. All we can do is be there for each other and be there for whoever we need to be, and to make sure that, we don't go one day without letting those people that we care about know that we care about them, because that's all we got. There's not a whole lot left after that. Spend the time. Spend your time. The time is what's most expensive to me. I mean, I hope you guys kind of feel the same, because, you don't get the time back. You can't buy more of it. So whatever you have, whatever time you're dealt with at the beginning, that's all you got. So it just, yeah. So, I don't like starting off like that, but I think that needed said, and I'm going to talk about something else here too, because I'm going to get down to the fear level here, because, if I see that, and again, I see it all over the place. I think we all can just click on whoever's channels and see it, right? But when it went too far when I see my subscribers emailing me, commenting back, all those kinds of things, and I'm having to calm them down a little bit. I shouldn't have to do that, because especially some of these other channels that are doing this, they know better. It's just pure fear-mongering for no other reason but to try to grab some clicks. It makes no sense to me. I don't see how anybody... And another thing that kind of puzzles me, some of these channels don't even need to do it. They're going to get their clicks anyway. It really does. It bothers me, and I don't talk about stuff like this much. And it's probably why I waited to do a live show on this, because I want to be able to, say this in real time and get some, see what you guys think about this stuff. And so with that being said, I know that was a whole lot right there. Yeah. Let me pull up my chat here real quick so I can keep up with you guys. Turn the volume down there. So yeah. But yeah, again, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you guys got some good stuff planned and all that. But we're gonna start here. All right. What you're looking at there, guys, that's the Schumann. Most of you guys know what that looks like, and everybody probably knows that. Oh, by the way, before I get moving here, I've only got 2 moderators. I got Scott and Seven. I'm not sure if Seven's even in here right now. I haven't seen him. Anyway, neither one of them knew I was going live, so this is just kind of something because I finally got everything and got some time to sit down and do this, so I'm just going to do it now. But if there's some junk going on in the comment in the chat box here, just kind of try to ignore it. If you see it, maybe say something to me here, and maybe I'll try to see if I can't just boot it out of there or whatever it needs to happen. But hopefully everybody can not do that. I would hope so, but sometimes that's too much to ask. Okay, so I am going to put the chat down, guys. I don't, I'm still trying to figure out how to get the chat box up here on OBS so I don't have to do this like this. But anyway, I do got a lot to show you guys here real quick, and we're going to do it like that. So, the Schumann, okay, this is part of what I was talking about a minute ago. This is what we got right now, okay. This isn't nothing to be like freaking out about, okay. Obviously, you're seeing the missing data over here, right? And that missing data is exactly what that is. That's missing data. There's nothing else. There's nothing fishy going on there, guys. Okay, and I'm going to explain. And I have to say this too. You guys know I've been pointing everybody over to Verte's channel, and he actually has done 5 or 6 videos just on this one anomaly. Okay, what anomaly am I talking about? Well, let me. I guess I could pull it up here. Where is it at? This it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, you guys, that's a pretty freaky looking anomaly, right? I mean, it's kind of strange. I didn't know what that was. Now, remember, excuse me, sorry. This was the day before. Okay? Now, I already explained to you guys, if you guys look over here to the left, what that was. Oh, you guys asking whose channel? It's Verte Arbustos channel. I'll leave a link in the description there. Or if somebody wants to try to drop the link down there, you can. You might not be able to put a link unless you're a mod. I'm not sure. But you could probably put his channel name down there if somebody wants to do that for him. But, again, he's made like 6 videos just on this one little thing that's going on. Right? So I tried to, do this in a way that everybody can understand. So I know sometimes it does seem like I'm kind of oversimplifying things, but I do that for a reason, because I don't want anybody to have any kind of misunderstanding with what I'm trying to show. And that's it. I don't mean to, insult anybody's intelligence. So if anybody ever thinks that, that's why. Okay? That's the only reason why I do it. I know that when I first came into this community, it was so hard sometimes to find somebody that wouldn't talk down to you. And for that matter, even give you the time of day. And don't get me wrong, as I've, grown here on YouTube, I do understand that you just absolutely cannot talk to everybody that you want to. It's impossible. There's not enough time in the day. So that's why I tried to start with the comment section stuff that I did, and that's why I'm doing the live streams now, okay? So hopefully I'm able to, just really be able to have some communication. That's my goal here, and I think the more communication we can have, the better off we're all going to be as far as, getting to the right truth. Okay? Now listen, okay, this right here, I showed you guys this before over here. That is a really strange signature, but I've seen that before. I've only been watching the Schumann here for a little over a year. And I've seen that a couple times. What that is that's a tool flaw, guys. Okay? It's not a tool flaw that just happened. It's a tool flaw caused by solar weather. Okay? It took a pretty big hit right here. Okay? And when it did, it caused these tools to go little wonkers, right? So what they did, you see the black line there, and you can tell that this is actually what happened, because you get the disruption, they shut it off, turned it back on, and everything went back to normal. That was a reset. Just like when if your phone locks up or your computer locks up, this is a reset. That's all that is. Okay? And you guys know how I am. I'm going to try to keep things as simple and down to earth as I possibly can with things. And I'm seeing so much, especially around this kind of stuff. People just taking it way, way too far with it. Okay? And let me explain. I'm not saying, I always 100% think everybody deserves their own opinion. And I don't disrespect people that do. But I think everybody is allowed to speak their opinion also, including myself. And, so that's what, I have this platform here, and that's what I'm using it for. I try not to influence people's, mindset by what I say, but I do want people to understand that I do have an opinion, and I do, I have been looking at this stuff now for quite some time. And I'm starting to get a little bit better at knowing what I'm actually looking at. And that's just what we're seeing. So then we get this big right here. You see this right here? Well, that thing turned into like a 3-day event. Okay. Let me see if I can't get that to drop back down. Let's get that back to yeah. There we go. That turned into like a 3-day event. It turned into a big anomaly. It lasted for like 3 days. Let me get that back over here. And yeah, so what it turned into? It turned into this one here, I think. Yeah, there it is. There's the big anomaly. Okay. Now it lasted for like 3 days. Now I think what I really want you guys to understand is what it would take for something that was not even an anomaly, just something that was say it was something that was actually happening, a real event. If that was something that was real, it would have had to repeat itself over and over and over again for 3 days straight, down to the second. That's what you're looking at, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say here. I'm not sure if anybody knows what Occam's razor is. But in other words, that's the theory that they use. Usually the simplest explanation turns out to be the right one. And, so we can't forget that. And I think that just looking at this to understand that for, you're talking 48, 72 hours straight, an anomaly showing the same signature. There's really no way in my mind that I could ever say that is anything other than a tool flaw. It would have to be, number one, if that was going to happen, it would have been something that was intelligent causing that. I know we talk about CERN and stuff like that, but, even for it to just, keep showing that. Plus, guys, this is not the only Schumann tool out there. If there was an anomaly that big that lasted that long, every Schumann tool on the planet would probably be picking it up. Okay? And it's not what we've seen. So, and why I'm saying this is because there was a few, and I got, I'll just tell you specifically what was in the email. I'm not going to show you who it was from, because I'm not going to do that. But this one, I got actually like 3 or 4 of them from this. One of them actually says in their email, man, what is going on? They're freaking out. That's what they're telling me. They actually said, is the Earth vibrating off of its axis? And they were being serious. Okay? Now, I'm not saying anything about that person. What I'm saying is, at that point, I stopped and I was like, hey, why are you getting this, how are you getting this far with that? So they pointed me to a couple videos and I went and watched them. And man, oh my, it just completely floored me, some of the stuff that I was seeing. Because the stuff that they were showing just made no sense what they were saying. So what I want to do, at least for this one video here, this one live stream, is this. Let's see if I can't do this right. Okay, you see this right here? I think all of us know what those are. That's a red and a blue pill, right? I did a video a while back, kind of something similar to this, but I'm going to reiterate this because I think I need to hammer this point home, because I think we're all getting way too far with this, okay? And I found myself in the same position. So I'm not saying that it's not possible for people to get where they're at in their headspace, right? Because I was there. And it took a minute to draw me back to where I needed to be. So what I'm saying is, we've all seen the movie, most of us, The Matrix. You're offered the red or the blue pill. Most of us in the truther community. And that's what I'm calling this, because that's what most of us are searching for, quote unquote, the truth, right? We're offered the red or the blue pill at some point. You can get the red pill, follow it down the rabbit hole, right? All you're going to find is the truth. You take the blue pill, You go back to sleep. Wake up the next day, don't know anything happened. Right? Well, what happens is we start wearing this red pill as a banner. And I did for a long time. I still do, kind of. We call it being awoke. Maybe that's taking it too far. Who knows? But when we got this red pill right here, we're looking at this thing, right? And we take that and we start moving with it. And we're so dead set against the original dogma of what we've been taught and how we've been programmed that we refuse to even entertain the fact that some of the stuff that we've seen and learned still is actually truth. Okay, we're pushing so hard against the mainstream that even when the mainstream does give us this little tidbits of truth, we refuse to accept it. Okay, and I know that that's a hard line to walk. It really is. I found myself way over here. I did, probably off the page. I wasn't accepting anything at all if it come out of whoever's mouth, right? If I thought that person was just ridiculous or whatever, it didn't matter what they said. They could have handed me a bar of gold and said, hey, that's worth 50 grand. I just said, no, it's only worth $5. You know what I mean? Tell me the sky's blue, I'm going to tell you it's black. That kind of thing. That's how hard I was pushing against that in my own mind. So I don't know what caused me to stop and think about this, but if we're going to look for the truth, and we're going to call ourselves the truth movement, or whatever we're doing, then we have to go into it. The main characteristic is an open mind. Right? Well, I think a lot of us forget that to have an open mind, yeah, we all got the front door open, but guess what? We have to have the back door open, the side doors open, and all the windows. So that means, what I'm saying, guys, is that truth can come from anywhere. We just have to try to turn around and look and find it. So, listen, when I see people, they go off the edge, and this is where the fear comes from. They went so far against what they think is the man, quote unquote, the man. And, don't get me wrong, guys, I still think that the majority of the stuff that we hear from almost everywhere is junk, okay? And I think that what we're doing here on YouTube is probably the only way we're ever going to find any truth, or any social media platform that we're trying to do something other than mainstream, right? Again, 99% of the stuff we hear from mainstream is junk. But there still is some truth in what they say sometimes. So, in order to be able to accept that Schumann tool was nothing more than a tool flaw, you have to be able to admit that. Because everything is not a conspiracy. It's not. And it's hard for, especially people like what I'm doing here on my channel, it's hard to kind of admit that sometimes. And, and that's why I think that if we're going to really wear the truther hat, we're going to have to be able to accept, number one, that some of the stuff that we have learned is actually the truth. It's just we have to figure out what that is. And by doing that, we just have to have an open mind to all directions. I got channels out there, guys, that don't like me. We all know that. I got some bigger channels call me stupid, idiots, all that kind of stuff, right? I still watch them. Why? Because some of the stuff that they're showing is truth. And ultimately, I don't care what people are saying to me or about me. I want the truth. That's just all it is. I mean, it's just what it is. And for somebody to just immediately, go from 0 to 100 with these videos I was seeing on this Schumann thing. I mean, some of the stuff I was hearing, it was blowing my mind, guys. Really. It really was. And again, I'm not going to even show any of that stuff because it's not worth doing, because you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to go at anybody personally. I never will here on this channel. I will go after the idea, and I will most 100% protect as best as I can my subscribers from getting fearful about anything. So what I suggested is something like this. Well, there's that that one again. Hold on. Is it this one? Nope. Not that one. That one? Nope. We'll talk about that in a minute. That one? Yeah, there we go. Hey. Instead of taking the red or the blue pill, how about we take the purple one? That's something this whole world has forgotten to do. You know what that is? None of us, hardly any of us, are willing to compromise on anything. You look around, geopolitically, you know, any of this research we're doing here, any subject, just pick it. And I promise you, no, either side, if there is discord to be had, the people on both sides of it will not come to the middle. They won't. It's not happening right now. And I hate to say it like this, but it's hard to see if it's ever going to again. But the only chance we have is to choose to do that ourselves. And maybe it'll start there. Who knows? You know, maybe that's what it'll take. Maybe it'll take little old whoever over here to start this kind of stuff. And I'm not trying to start no movement or nothing here. I just want people that are listening to me understand that sometimes this is what it is. Sometimes the truth that we see is actually what we're looking at. It doesn't always have to be the monster conspiracy. Because believe me, there's enough of those out there that are actually the truth. And that's why we do what we do. You know, and it really gets a little frustrating for those of us that are doing these channels to have to kind of talk to people, because we don't anything that I do, especially, I don't try to put it out there in a fearful way. So when my people come back to me on emails, comment sections, and they're scared, it gets me kind of riled up because somebody did that to them. And, you know, and let me show you something else as I got you guys here. Let's just click on some of these, get these out of here. Yeah, so we'll go over some of the space weather stuff real quick first, because we do have a little bit of stuff going on here. Here's the geoelectric field model, the one I show you guys, the one that shows the effects of space weather on our electrical grid. And this thing's been going kind of crazy, okay? So I'm going to hit play. We'll watch this for a second and see what it does. But, you know, this is something, you know, 6 months ago on this particular model here, we wouldn't be seeing a whole lot of this. It was all blue. It was just that darker color blue. And none of this kind of lighter color. But we're seeing it move now. That thing must be locked up. Oh, goodness. Let's try to reload that thing. See if it'll do it now. Yeah, so I mean, so we're going to talk about solar wind too, and what happened with that the other day that had some more subscribers emailing me about that. And man, that right there, guys, I almost came on. Matter of fact, I made a video. I made it like 5 or 6 times. I had to delete all of them because I was I was so angry when I was making that video. Oh my gosh. It was, wow. I just couldn't even put it out because it was too bad. And that's not me. And I let somebody get me there. But it got me there because, again, the way that it was affecting people I was trying to help. That's it. That's all. That's all it amounted to. We'll go to this here real quick first. Anyway, this is the Space Weather Prediction Center. Okay? You got the solar X-ray flux. Everything's kind of quieting down, guys. Okay? Now we had, you know, we went down here kind of in the geomagnetic activity level here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Anyway, so we got this right here, and so it's going up and down, up and down. We went down here, and we stayed there for almost a day. Now we're going back up. Why? Well, because we got coronal holes to talk about, and that's what's happening here. Okay, you guys see my purple cursor here, right? There's a coronal hole right there that's actually, you know, opened up pretty what I would call deep, and what I mean by that is it's dark in there. It's not It doesn't have any of that like haze around it. It's completely dark. So whatever's coming off the surface of the sun is pretty much just leaving straight from that. But we got these other little patchy ones, guys. We can't forget that. But what we're looking at here, guys, is what they call a blank disk. And no, I'm not calling the sun a disk. I got accused of that before. That's not what I'm saying. They call a blank disk is the Earth-facing side of the sun when it doesn't have any sunspots. That is what they call a blank disk. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. You know, and again, there was people out there saying that they're over there calling that a blank disk and this and that. And the sun ain't a disk, and I couldn't even believe I even had to answer that question. But anyway, so what you're seeing, guys, again, these are patchy holes. So what's going to happen is as these, you know, the Earth kind of sits just to the south of the equator of the sun, right? So anytime those holes rotate through, about 3 or 4 days later, sometimes 5, depending on how fast those particles are moving, they'll get here. And we'll start getting effects on our magnetosphere, which affects us geomagnetically, right? We talked about that a lot. But what I want to point out, guys, is there are bright regions getting ready to come over here, okay? And there have been a couple CMEs that got fired off over here. One of them, actually, I showed you guys, I believe I showed you the one that I thought might be glancing us. It could. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't, though, because it was over far enough when that filament released. That filament, if you guys remember, was up here, and when it blew off in between us and stereo A. Okay, so we weren't really sure at first what direction it was actually going specifically, but I don't think it's going to hit us. But what I do think it could do is we're going to get a good idea of the new solar cycle, how powerful these filaments are, because it's going to hit stereo A. And stereo A is loaded with detectors. So we're going to get some good data from it, is what I'm trying to say there. Okay? And it's going to give us a really good idea of what could actually be going on here, just, you know, when those filaments come around to get us, because they will. I have to say, guys, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay? And I know that sounds really bad, but, you know, the Carrington event, guys, you know, we were told for so long that was something that was like, oh my God, it was a really bad event, okay? It fried telegraph lines. I mean, it was crazy. We're talking global stuff, right? From a big solar flare. But what's crazier is the fact that we were, you know, led to believe that was like a unique event. And, you know, how often should we see these things? Well, I think I showed you guys in my last video, if I remember right, how often that we can expect those things. We can expect those things a lot more often than what we think. It's going to happen again. And what's scary about this now is back then in the 1800s, they were no way near, you know, reliant on electricity like we are. Okay, think about all the electrical lines that are above ground. You know, they say that if we lost our electricity, like for any length of time, within a couple years, 90% of the population would not be here. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that, and the majority of it is because even myself, in my 40s, I wouldn't know how to operate without electricity. Not normally. I mean, I would figure it out. I know I could do it. And, you know, I've done some research and stuff and got my own little stuff here. You know, I'm comfortable with what I know. But there would be people out there my age that wouldn't make it because they don't know how to live without electricity. And it most definitely that's the biggest, I think, fear that most people have with the solar flare. Okay? You know, and that's probably, in my opinion, would be the most immediate, like, bam, oh my gosh, something bad just happened. Right? You know, we talk about this magnetic pole flip, and we just simply don't know what's going to happen when that happens, guys. You know, there's a lot of theories out there, and I think a lot of them are real close. But the fact of the matter is, none of us have been here during one of those. None of us. So, that is what it is. And so nobody really knows 100% what could happen during a magnetic pole flip. So, again, what do we do? What do we do? We don't do nothing. That's what we do. We be aware. That's what we're doing, right? That's what we have to do. And that's why I even do this at all. I want you guys to understand that that's my main goal, is to make people aware. And the reason why I want to make people aware is because when you know something could or might be happening, you're not so scared when it actually does. You don't lock up. You make better decisions. And that could be really crucial for people and their families. So, take that for what it's worth. And that's why I get so mad over what I'm getting ready to tell you guys. Okay? You got this solar wind speed right here. I tell you guys, if you guys look at this ACE data, you always look at the range right there. And most of the time it sits between 300 and 500. Why? Well, the reason why is because that's normal conditions, right? Typically stuff inside that range, we don't see very many things go on, during those kinds of speeds. But, there is the off chance, if we get high dense hits while having that same speed, what happens? Yes, we'll take a hit from it. But when I get these emails of people just completely freaking out, I mean, I'm talking like, oh my gosh, 500 kilometers per second is extremely fast. What are we going to do? What's going to happen? All this and all that. And I'm sitting there thinking, where are you guys getting this from? Because, me, I kind of failed a little bit, I guess, because I thought I'd said that enough. But, I want people to understand 300 to 500 is normal wind speed. Okay? Anything inside of that, you're not going to see very much activity happen to us. It's not going to affect us much. There has been some studies out as of lately, and they're peer-reviewed, that the density of those particles is just as important, if not more important. They're finding that out now. And I've been saying that, me and Scott both have been saying that for over 2 years. That's just one of those things, guys. I mean, something heavier that hits you going the same speed makes sense it would hurt worse, right? I mean, but, that's space for you. Sometimes they can't, prove it until they actually do a lot of the testing. They do some peer-reviewed papers. It's a long time to get something to, for the community there, the scientific community, to accept something and get it through all their peer-reviewed stuff. It takes a lot of time. So they could be thinking this has been going on for however many years, and then we won't even know if they agree for 5. That's just what it takes, guys. But the solar wind speed, that 300 to 500, I actually had people calling me, like scared. What should I do? Should I get all my stuff and put it in a Faraday cage and all this other kind of stuff? And so finally I just asked them, I was like, listen, where are you getting this? Why are you so fearful about 500 kilometers per second? You know what the answer was? There was, again, I don't have to say people's names because you guys will probably know who I'm talking about anyway. It was from somebody else's video that even in their thumbnail, they were using like words like catastrophic and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Run for the hills, breaking news this and breaking news that. And just complete, no other way to say it but fear-mongering, guys. That's what it was. Straight to the core. I've never seen a better example of that. So I'm left to sit here and wonder why. Why would they do that? And that video came from a channel that has been around 6 years or 7 years longer than me. So I know that the video that was out there, that was made by that channel, they knew what they were doing. They know that 500 kilometers per second is not that fast. So that what that forces you to think, they blatantly lied to the whole community about that. They made it seem like it was so bad. For what reason? To get a couple extra clicks. Oh yeah, maybe I need to stop and read, give a shout out to my sponsors. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not, you guys, I mean, it just really, sponsors are good things, guys. They are. For a lot of people. This is a lot of people's jobs. But when you do that and then fear-monger right behind it, man, I just got big issues with that. I just don't know what else to say. I get all fired up. I mean, I really was. I made a video and I had to delete it. I made it like 6 or 7 times. I was so mad. And it wasn't because it was me. It was because of my subscribers were in fear because of what other people were telling them. It was ridiculous. I just didn't know what to do, Because you guys know I don't like the whole drama scene. That's just something I try to not bring here. And I won't bring it here. And that's why I don't say names. That's the only reason. If I ever wanted to say names, man, I'm telling you, now would have been the time. Because I would just, man, it was so, man, I don't know. I guess I just got so defensive for people that I care about, like, my friends and my subscribers, that it just, yeah, I got kind of pushed over the top. And I know it sounds ridiculous. I do. I get it. But it did. It really got me red in the face, and I was so upset. And then that's why I didn't do a video for a couple days. Because if I did, I knew I was going to blow up. If you think what I just said was kind of harsh, it really wasn't that bad, I don't think. But you probably wouldn't have wanted to heard the other video I made. And I'm not trying to, and the only reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I want to hammer home the point that wind speed of 3 to 500 is normal, okay? So if you guys see that again on any channel, just know that what they're saying is complete malarkey when they try to play up the fact that 500 kilometers per second is extremely fast. You know what makes it even a little bit more ridiculous? That same day, I seen a reading on this particular graph I'm looking at right now of 1,400 kilometers per second. Almost triple that. That's almost 3 million miles per hour. That's fast. Okay? That's fast. But the 500, guys, I mean, and right now we're sitting in a low period of the sun too. We got to realize that too. We cannot forget the fact that as we go into solar maximum, things are going to get faster and more frequent. Things are going to get more intense. Go back and look at some of the graphs and stuff from 5 or 6 years ago. Look at that. If this little stuff is scaring people, you ought to wait to see that. But my point here is that some of the stuff that we're seeing, a lot of it is actually to be expected, and a lot of it's normal. But what we're trying to do is to show people the stuff that's not. So anybody that takes something that's extremely normal, like 500 kilometers per second, and makes it look like it's something more than it's not, is doing nothing more than muddying the waters and making it hard for those of us that actually got something to talk about that is over the top. It's the same as crying wolf, guys. The same thing. For what reason? So they can get a couple extra clicks and views. And like I said, this channel didn't need to do that to get the clicks and views. They were going to get them anyway. It really, man, I just, man. So I'm going to move on, guys. Sorry. But it just, I needed to say that because I've been wanting to say it for a couple days now. And obviously I've been trying to go live here, and finally I got it figured out. So anyway. Okay, calm down. You got this right here. This is the end little model, guys. You can see right here, we're about right here in time, where my purple cursor is up here at the top. And you can see that this thing's predicting here, we're going to get a little uptick here in the next couple of days in density. That's coming from those filament releases and a couple CMEs that blew off just to that side of the sun. They weren't nothing huge, but like I said, we're going to get a good idea how strong solar cycle 25 is when that filament hits stereo A. It may already be hitting it right here. I think it probably is. But I'll try to take you over to the CME tracker if I can get to it here in a minute. But this right here is, again, guys, this isn't really a whole lot going on. But I want to point out that, right here, we're here in time. And this thing tries to predict, 5 days out in advance. This is just like your local on the 8s. This model will take new data as it's continuously coming in. and it will continuously update itself. Okay? So this thing will change. It's not going to stay down here. Especially if the sunspot just happens to pop up on the sun or whatever else, and maybe a CME or a flare. If that happens, this thing will change immediately. So what I'm saying is that these conditions are, apt to change. And, something else, guys, CMEs, they take 3 to 5 days to get here. So there's no reason to try to jump out right out in the beginning and try to show people those kinds of stuff without all the data. Unless you're seeing it, you're looking at it, and you do what I do when I say, hey, here's a CME, it's just now starting. We just don't know how strong it's going to be yet. Don't know what direction it's going, but this is happening. I'm not saying, hey, look at that CME coming off the sun. You better, again, throw all your stuff in a Faraday cage and put your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye. I'm not saying any of that, but that's what that's what I try not to say. So, anyway. This here, you got the velocity again. So, yeah. What else did I want to show you here real quick? I'm sorry this is kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to throw this together real quick because I promised you guys a live stream, and I finally got it to work. So, anyway, this is USGS. This is one of the main reasons we talk about solar weather. Again, more recently peer-reviewed papers coming out showing that solar weather most definitely affects earthquake frequency, volcanic activity, all that stuff that Scott's been saying for a long time, and me too. And it's and it wasn't just us two. Dutch, he's been saying it. So what I'm saying, guys, it does happen. So how does it happen? Well, when we get hit with that stuff, the easiest way into our planet with that kind of activity, solar weather, is through the poles. Okay? So when those things come in through the poles, basically it goes into our core and it gets put into the whole system. And it starts adding energy. And the Earth is very similar to a capacitor in that aspect. We'll hold the energy until we simply can't hold it no more. And then it just fires right off in whatever form it wants to. Now, that ain't the only thing that causes earthquakes. That's not what we're saying. It's just part of the formula. And all it takes is one piece of that formula to tip it off. Because all the other stuff is already there. This time it might be a solar wind stream. Next time it might be a shift in one of the plates or something. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that solar weather most definitely does affect, and it does add to the risk of earthquakes. And that's one thing I would want to hammer home to people. Right now, we're not having any like big ones. And that's something that also, the past few days I've been watching this thing. After we had the couple, we had 3 high sixes in this area here. And that one was like 267 kilometers deep. And within, everybody was saying within like 10 days we should see a bigger one. Or one of close to the same size somewhere else in this area, and sure enough, this one over here in Chile popped off the coast, and it was I think it was close to a 7, and then there was a subsequent like a couple more 6s in the same area right there, like a 6 to 8 and all that. So that's probably where that came from. But I also have to throw in there, we were getting solar weather the whole time. So and also the hurricanes, guys. We've seen hurricanes in here. I think which one was? I think it was Dorian, if I remember right. It was, as far as like quick intensification of a hurricane, they can actually, when those things like solar weather hits our planet in that specific area, it actually does. It affects the hurricane. So, we could have rapid intensification. Yes, I understand that there's, the weather modification stuff and the steering currents and how we can manipulate the stuff now also. I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole nother subject. But that does happen. And, when we start getting these things, and I did the video of the birds that were in Delaware. I think we need to remember that, okay? Bugs, birds, nature in general, they're the best meteorologists we got. These birds up here in 2018, they flocked down here to Venezuela, Colombia. I think that's where they end up. But the one scientist, the researcher, noticed those birds up here, they don't do it on the same day every year when they go to flock south, like most birds do, within 1 or 2 day window. These birds were like waiting a week, sometimes 2 weeks, one direction or the other. And he found out that it related to the strength and the frequency of hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean as they came through here. In other words, they were predicting how strong the hurricane season was going to be and how active. It was something crazy, man. And, 2018, all the models, all the meteorologists across the world said we were going to have a very, very quiet season. Well, those birds didn't say that. They said the exact opposite. And guess who was right? The birds. I just thought that was hysterical. But we need to look to that stuff a lot, guys. We don't look to that enough. We really don't. Let's go here. Here's our magnetosphere, guys. What we're looking at here. This is, we are getting a little bit of solar wind right now. It's probably from those patchy holes. It's nothing to write home about. We're not getting slammed or anything. But we are getting some hits here. And again, sometimes I choose not to even show this stuff to you right here because if it's not nothing to really look at, I'm not, I don't want to make a big deal about it. That's the density right there is what you're looking at. And this is the newer model. The other one I show you guys from ISWA, I'll take you guys over and show it to you here in just a second. It's the older model. It's been out there for a long time. But it doesn't mean that it's not relevant, because it is. So, I'll just leave that at that. I get hammered over that sometimes. Matter of fact, I got called an idiot one time over that, but that's all right. I'll just leave that alone. Anyway, you got this right here. There's not a whole lot going on there. I just wanted to show that to you real quick. We are seeing some stuff inside the magnetosphere that isn't really kind of what we would expect. Sometimes there's been a few of these little discharges coming off the back side of the Earth that we didn't see. How that wave just came in the front right there? I was seeing discharges coming out the back here inside our magnetosphere, but we weren't getting hit in the front first. Typically, we'll get hit in the front like it just showed you, and then it'll flush out some of these particles, behind us. Well, when you don't get hit up here, but yet we're still flushing out here, what's going on? Well, most likely we're discharging some energy somehow. That's what happens sometimes, guys. You can see it. It's not that hard to see, but that's what's going on. Okay, this right here. Something else, guys. A lot of these tools have been going up and down. Seeds has been horrible. That one there, man. And I think a lot of the reason is because, Scott's been catching a lot of stuff on that thing. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But as you're looking at this is the SOHO. This is from our point of view, right? And as we look at this, I'm just moving the slide bar, and you can actually see CMEs and small little solar storms blowing off both sides. So let me grab this real quick. Actually, I'm just going to hit, I'll just grab it. That's off the left side there. You can see it right in there. Now it's going to come here. Now remember the date, okay? This is a couple days ago. So another one there on the left. Look here, I'll roll it back and forth. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well, but it's there. Okay, and then in the front, look at another one on the left. So they're blowing off all over the place right now, is my point. And, when that's happening, that means anything can crack off anytime at once. Here's this right now. We actually have, and this is, like I said, this over here in this area, that right there it's ejecting right now as I'm talking to you. At least from this time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. Oops. Let's go on in here. And I'm just going to push play and let this one run. So we're looking right here, and you're going to see it. It's pretty obvious. You're going to see it kind of just whoop right on out that way. starts to explode out, and it goes on out. And see how it reset the time there. So that's, and what we're finding right now, guys, a lot of the times when our object and stuff's out there, it's just drawing stuff from that whole side of the sun. And, you know, we see it, and how that's evident is because you will see down here on this side, you'll see plasma and stuff, or these gases that we're able to see in these angstroms, they're all getting pulled to one specific location. Why would this stuff up here go this way at the same time this is going that way every time? It makes no sense. The stuff down here really should be blowing off whatever direction it wants to, not the same direction, pointing almost like an arrow to an object or something else that's out there, right? And it's been happening a lot. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth, but that is what it is. Let's see here. Yeah. The other side of the sun here is doing something too. So, I mean, the whole side of the sun is just, the sun's just getting active. That's all I can say. It doesn't have to have sunspots to be active. That's a myth. If somebody ever tells you that, that's a myth. I've seen sunspots pop up and go away within 8 hours. I've seen a sunspot, I don't know, about 6 months ago. Actually, it was about right in this area, right around the equatorial area of the sun. It popped up, blew a flare and a CME, and then went away completely back to pretty much nothing, all in a time frame of like 6 hours. It was crazy. But what I'm saying is that they won't give these sunspots a number unless they hang around long enough. They have to have the same, they have to have good characteristics underneath all the stuff that we're seeing on the surface. Plus, they have to hang around for a certain amount of time, or they don't even waste time giving it a number. And that's the marker they use to tell you what sun cycle they're in and how active the sun is. They're just basically telling you how many days the sun facing us had a sunspot. That's all they're telling you with that solar cycle. Now remember, it's a roughly 11-year period, and it's a pole flip. It's a magnetic pole flip on the sun. Does it every 11 years. Anyway, let me back this back off. And I am sorry for going through all that at the beginning of this, but I needed to say that because it really bothered me. As you can see here, you can see on the 211 here, the purple view here. That right there, guys, this one here, this particular angstrom does show the coronal holes really, really well. Rotate that through. Anyway, you got that there. It's a pretty big, darker area. Now, that's not one big coronal hole. That's not what I'm saying. You gotta keep in mind also that there's other angstroms of gases that this thing will see. And if you put it in a composite and looked at it, and then you still had the hole, that's a coronal hole. Okay? If it's just one angstrom you see a hole in, and all the other ones it's all covered up, it's not a true coronal hole. Not typically. But this one up here on the right side, that's the one we were getting wind from a couple days ago. But now it's all, you know, down here below the equator of the sun. So we're going to take a look at this real quick because this is the magnetosphere, the older models I was just speaking about. Okay. Now if you go down through here, you're going to see this thing react. Now remember, the sun's off to the right. Okay, and this is back on the 4th right there. You can see it reacting. Now what I want to show you guys, I want to show you guys something pretty cool here in just a second. So you're seeing energy again. Now I know I went through that kind of fast, but watch what happens. See how that built up in the back? Now watch the front. We're going to compress a little bit. That means we got hit in the front. Okay, so that energy on the backside would be expected in the next few minutes. You see that? So that's a pretty decent hit. Now watch what this thing does. And see how we started pushing back out here? That's exactly what happened. So, what's that mean? Well, it just means that we collected that energy, held onto it for a minute, and then let it go. We couldn't hold it. That's what that means. And also, if you look at these, sometimes you'll see like little cracks Guys, there are cracks in our electromagnetic field. All right, our magnetosphere, magnetic field, our shields. There's cracks in it. You tell people that, and they kind of get scared. So I don't typically say that. But there are cracks, and let me show you. I'm going to take you over here to space weather and just show you that real quick. Where's it at? Oops. This is spaceweather.com, guys. I take you guys here quite a bit. I think they do pretty good work over here. They got some really good articles. But what you're seeing here, you see this was my thumbnail. Geomagnetic rain over Finland. Okay? Look at this. That's a real picture. That just happened. How'd that happen? Well, we were getting all that solar weather the other day, and there was a crack in the magnetosphere right above Finland. All those particles were shooting in there. That's what you're seeing. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. And again, that came from a crack in the magnetosphere. So that is what it is. There's really not a whole lot more to say there on that one. Let's go here. Okay, now this is the sun cycle, pretty much. You can see it. Okay, you can see how we're upticking pretty quick up here, and that is what it is, guys. I don't know how fast how the intensity is going to keep going and stuff, but right now is what it is. Like I said, not a whole lot more there to talk about. That's another pretty cool looking little anomaly. They call that Magnetosphere or something like that. Who knows? But that is a pretty cool anomaly thing going on there. But that geomagnetic storm there that caused that was just really, really neat. Let's see here. What else was I wanting to show you guys? Well, I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff I could have shown you, and I know this was all over the place, guys. But I was promising you guys a live stream, and I wanted to come on and just let you guys know that that's what was going on. So yeah, these live streams are going to be a little different most of the time. Okay, that stuff I talked about at the beginning, I won't talk about that again. Okay, I don't usually do that. I think most of us know that. So that is what it is. I said what I had to say, and I'm just going to move on from it. And the only reason why I said anything at all was because it did affect some of you guys. And I felt like I kind of failed you guys in not letting you guys know what 500 kilometers per second was normal. I mean, that's just how I'm wired, guys. When somebody, says or does something that really affects somebody else that's watching me or whatever, it bothers me, and I need to grow thicker skin. I had really thin skin at the beginning of all this. Matter of fact, this channel almost wasn't here, just so you know that. I about quit this about, 50 times in the beginning because there's a lot of negativity, man. It really is. And I try my best not to bring that to you guys. So, with that being said, guys, yeah. Okay, let me look at the chat here. I haven't looked at the chat in a minute. You guys got any questions? Let's see here. All right, guys. Yeah, like I said, if you guys got any questions, pop them in there real quick. Hold on, Scott. Let me see if I can't find them. I'm not sure where they're at. I haven't looked at hardly anything today. There's been some stuff, flying around here, and it's just been. I haven't even really did a whole lot of research today. Let's see if I can find it. sure where it's at. Daggone it. It might be in here. No, it's not in here. Oh, I did want to show you guys one more thing. I might save that for another one, though. Yeah. These are the levels of geomagnetic storms. If you guys just wanted to see that real quick, that's a G1 storm, and it tells you what kind of conditions we should expect. You know, it happened 1,700 times in an 11-year period. That's pretty shocking number, actually. I didn't think it would be that high when I seen that. Then you get up into 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So yeah, but that's that. I will show those pictures in my next stream, guys, or next, hold on a second. Yeah, my next stream or my next one. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even see that. Yeah, I just seen that, Scott. I have to show it next time, man. I got things happening here in the background. I'm not going to be able to stay on here much longer. Got people coming out here and everything else. So, yeah. So, guys, I know that probably wasn't some big banger live stream or anything like that, but I did want to just touch base with you guys and let you guys know where my head was at. And, you know, again, like I said, guys, I'm sorry I went through that stuff in the beginning, but that was stuff that has been happening for weeks now. And, you know, again, I won't even talk about it anymore because I've said what I've had to say about it. I just don't want you guys to get to the place where you're scared. That's my biggest thing. So yeah, you're looking at some of this geomagnetic storm stuff, guys. I will go over this again. And that's, Scott, that picture you just showed, that was, you just sent to me in Messenger. That was, wow. Man. Wow. Let me see if I can't figure out how to, yeah. I'm just not thinking right now, guys. I'm, like, exhausted. So, before I go and do something stupid here, I think I am going to go ahead and end the stream, guys. Again, next time I do a stream, guys, it'll be a little bit more organized. I just kind of threw this thing together. It was pretty, like, so, just hang in there. Maybe I'll try to do one in the evening sometime, late evening. We'll get a lot more people in there, and we'll you know, I want to have more interaction with everybody. I really do. And I want it to be positive stuff. I don't want it to be negative. I want us to go for the truth, find the truth, and keep moving. You know, and I think that's what a lot of us are trying to do, you know. At least I know I am. I know Scott's doing that. I know a lot of us are trying to do that. And we just got to do it in the right way. That's all. We got to be there for each other. So, anyway, guys, I am going to let you go. So, God bless. Yeah, God bless. Yahushua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.